Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, not to mention Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, wherever, guys. While you're there, go and rate, review, subscribe. Then you can head on over to the Facebook group and Twitter account and join in the discussion. Well, hello, everyone. It is that time once again for another exciting installment of Dayspring Discussions, Star Wars Book Reports. And I am here with the bookworm herself, Miss Lisa McGahee.
I hardly think these qualify as exciting.
Totally exciting. They're exciting books.
I meant the book reports that we're doing.
You know, if you're excited for the book, you're excited about the book. Much like when you review or talk about anything that you're passionate about, you know, it's always exciting, you know? Mm-hmm. It's great to get to talk about these things, and especially with other people, which is why I'm doing this right away, because I want to talk about another Star Wars book so you can read it, okay, guys? We haven't done one of these in a while. We're 3 books behind in reviewing the canon novels. Lisa's been rereading all the canon novels, of course, and then we do a book report on them, and we're 3 books behind. Meanwhile, the newest Star Wars book, Queen's Peril, has come out. I've listened to it. Lisa has not, and I really want to talk to her about it. So we're knocking out all 3, one after the other, guys, and I'm going to put them up one day at a time, and hopefully in that time, Lisa can get to Queen's Peril. Hopefully. Okay, so on today's show, guys, we are talking Tarkin by James Luceno. Of course, James Luceno, no stranger to the Star Wars novel world. He's done a lot of Legends books. More recently in the canon, he's done this one, and he also wrote Rogue One Catalyst. What is it? What is it called? Catalyst, a Rogue One story. Something like that. Yes. Okay. That's the name of it. But anyway, guys, this one is Tarkin, and Lisa, take her away.
I don't know. I mean, I really like Tarkin. I feel like
what's it about?
So this book takes place 14 years before the Battle of Yavin. So it's about 5 years into the Empire. Mm-hmm. So the Empire is still fairly new, but you know, it's been around long enough that it's established now. People know who the Empire are. You know, the big head honchos in the Empire are known. So Tarkin at this point, he is a Grand Moff now, and he's at the point where he's overseeing Death Star. Uh-huh. So there's a lot of the premise of the current the storyline in here is kind of nobody really understands why this powerful Grand Moff, who was such an up-and-comer during the Clone Wars and seems to be so trusted by the Emperor, why he's the Grand Moff of this outer rim nowhere part of the galaxy. So which we know is because that's where the Death Star is being built. So nobody knows about it. So people think he's out there because he got in trouble or because no one really knows why, and he doesn't care that nobody knows why, because he doesn't ever care what anybody thinks. So, what's interesting about this story is it takes place. There's a lot of flashbacks. Mm-hmm. So, throughout it, you get kind of Tarkin's backstory. You hear, you get kind of the perspective of his childhood. How he was raised, how he met Palpatine back when Palpatine was a senator, how they had become such good friends over the time, why Palpatine was intrigued by Tarkin in the beginning and kind of groomed him to have that leadership role in the Empire. So that part is all really interesting because, Tarkin comes from a real interesting... His backstory is very interesting, I think. But another part that's interesting in this is part of the current storyline. The Emperor, and as we learned, and we read Lords of the Sith, the Emperor is always testing people. Mm-hmm. The people who are, his subordinates, everyone who's under him, he's always testing them. And so part of this novel is Tarkin and Vader are given a task together. So you're kind of seeing how the Emperor is kind of testing them together. You also come to discover, which we talked about before, that Tarkin is one of the very few people that discovers or that realizes that Vader was Anakin. And if you watch the Clone Wars TV show, you see that Tarkin and Anakin had worked together during the Clone Wars. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things that play into this because, like I said, it is kind of past and current going on, during the time period. But you see how Tarkin interacts with a lot of different people, and you get a lot of different facets of his personality and kind of what makes him tick, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't finish this one. It's very one of those technical kind of books, I feel like, and I couldn't get into it. I mean, the character of Tarkin, maybe it's because, again, it's not a Jedi, book where, it's about the Empire. It's about, Tarkin and, what he's doing. And again, I'm more interested in the Jedi, the Force, stuff like that. It was just a lot of detailed, linguistics or whatever you want to call it. So I didn't finish it, to be honest, which I'm very disappointed because James Luceno is my #1 Star Wars author.
There's not a lot of details. I'm not sure what you're talking about because there's not a lot of technical details in here. I mean, there's no Jedi. You're right. There's not like that. There's no fight scenes. There's no, but there's not a lot of like technical jargon. I mean, you're
the first couple of chapters I read, I felt like there was.
Well, the beginning of it, there's bits and pieces where they talk about. Well, part of the story is explaining to you how Tarkin is such a good strategic mind, like how he figures things out. So you do get a little bit of military strategy, strategizing.
And you get that kind of in like Thrawn too, right? Because like in the Thrawn books, you see his train of thought. Are you right? Yeah, explain it.
And there's a lot of that in this one too, but it's how Tarkin is figuring things out. How he's using the past to help figure out what to do in the present. And I didn't think it was overly technical at all.
I feel like it's one I should probably give another try, though.
You probably
should.
Yeah, because it's definitely. I mean, I can see this one came out early in the new canon.
Yeah, it was
books,
one of the first ones to come out.
So it may have been just at that time you were expecting Jedi stuff, and then you started reading this, and you're like, "This isn't Jedi." And
well, Vader's on the cover, so I'm like, "Ooh, Vader."
Yeah, because I mean, if you go into it expecting it to be very heavy in the Jedi, it's not. I mean, you get a little bit of Vader doing some cool things, but not a lot. It's not like Lord of the Sith where he's out there like fighting and you know. I mean, you see him intimidating people for sure, but it really is just about the underlying theme of it is how Tarkin became the great military mind that he was, and he was like I kind of feel like if your only experience with him is in A New Hope, you kind of feel like he's kind of a meh. I mean, you can see that he's definitely pulling Vader's strings. That he's in charge there. Yeah. So just from that, you have to I mean, you obviously are going to say, well, if he has the power to tell Vader to stop, he must be somebody high ranking. Especially for Vader to listen to him. So even in A New Hope, you can tell that. But, just from that, you don't really get much of a sense of who he really is and how did he get to that position.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at other appearances on screen, you have Rogue One. He's in there kind of, taking the Stardust Project away from Krennic, of course, and kind of conniving in that way, I guess you would say. And then, of course, you jump over to Rebels and Clone Wars. And, again, you see a little bit over there. But, again, you don't get inside his head that much. Right.
I mean, and it'll surface again also when we get to the Thrawn novels. Because he plays a part in some of those.
And that's one of those things, too, is I love in the Thrawn novel, especially that last one, where it was, you had Tarkin, Thrawn, and Krennic. All these three players of, they were all very, intelligent men, all trying to almost like manipulate each other or outthink each other to get what they want. And it's just, interesting to see that chess game go on.
Yeah. Well, and you see some of that in this. A lot of this is Tarkin doing that, using his mind to kind of outthink. In this case, kind of almost like the one of the earliest sparks of the rebellion. Except they're not working with the actual rebellion. It's a group of people who kind of are rebelling. But I think it's really great. I really like this one, and I wasn't sure since as I've been rereading these. I've some of the ones I liked a lot the first time through I didn't like as much this time, or vice versa. And this one I remember really liking when I first read it, and I really enjoyed it again.
Well, I think I'm going to give it another try. Honestly, like I said, it's James Luceno. I love James Luceno, and again, maybe it was very early on in the canon stories, so maybe I didn't give it a fair shake, of course. So I think I'm going to try it. Which, by the way, side story on this or side idea. I was thinking about it too. Father's Day is coming up. I was thinking what to get Dad, and I was thinking, you know what? What if, my dad likes to read. He likes Star Wars. What if I get him like a Star Wars book or an audiobook that I think he might like? Because he's the one that got me into Star Wars. He bought me my first Star Wars book. I begged him. Oh, I remember it was at we went out one night. I was a kid. And I begged him for the novelization of the original Star Wars book. And he's like, Sean, you're too young. You can't read that book. And I was like, no, I can read it. He's like, all right, go home, prove to me you can read it, and then I'll buy it for you. And so we got home, and he picked up the Star Wars book that he was reading, and I had to read several pages of that to prove I could read that, on that level for him to buy me the Star Wars novelization. The Star Wars novel that currently came out that he was reading that I had to test myself on was Heir to the Empire. Mm-hmm. So, little fun fact there. But anyway, Father's Day is coming up. I'm like, you know what, Dad, maybe I want to get him a Star Wars. I was thinking about getting Dad Tarkin for Father's Day.
Star Wars is never a bad gift.
But I'm thinking, like, my dad. Do you think this is one he would be into versus other ones?
Yeah, no, I think your dad would like a lot of them, but I think he would like this one, sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, so I might do that, actually. So he's not going to listen to this, so he'll have no idea, so it's okay. But, yes, so, guys, what do you think of Tarkin? Let us know. You said do you like it more or less than before you read it?
I think I like it about the same because I liked it a lot the first time through, and I like it a lot still. So it's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things. Tarkin was he was in the original film, but that was it. And thanks to expanding the universe, you get so much more. Not only with Rogue One and Clone Wars and Rebels, but also again books like this. The Thrawn books, I love. There's an issue of Darth Vader where he and Vader are on this planet, and Vader basically tells Tarkin, "Hey, hunt me down. Do everything you can to kill me, catch me, whatever, just to test themselves." Really, is what they try to do, and it's such a good one, man. Definitely good. If you guys haven't checked that one out. It's by Charles Soule. Read the Vader series. It's a great one. My favorite Star Wars comics of the new canon. But anyway, I love how we can expand on these characters that we only briefly get to see in the movies, in a novel such as this as Tarkin.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, if you've checked out Tarkin, let us know what you think about it. Fireback, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com, Facebook group, and Twitter account. And that is going to be it for us right now. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to record our next one. What's the next one we're doing, Lisa?
I think next is Most Wanted.
Most Wanted. Oh, I love this one, too, actually, too. So we're going to talk about that. But you guys, let us know what you think about that and any other Star Wars books. We're always here. So that's it, guys. Have a good one. Until next time, may the Force be with us all.